as we have a look at the circuit. Again, very briefly, Brock Parks, talk us round the circuit and the major problem areas. There's a lot of corners out there, but some of them are very quick corners.
Yeah, it's actually a really fast circuit. If you look at it on the TV, it doesn't look as fast and long as it is. But yeah, there's a lot of stop corners and tricky corners for braking. And like I said before, there's a lot of corners where you go from right to left, and you've got to brake really hard, and it's hard to find a braking point. And there's some bumps that you probably don't see so much on the TV. There's a lot of bumps. And yeah, that's about it really. It's a nice track to ride.
Okay, let's go down. We've heard from Brock Parks there. Let's go down to Wheeling, where she is talking to some of the contenders. I believe it's the pole sitters at the AP250cc. Wheeling.
Thank you, Des. So you guys are enjoying your very nice air condition in there while I'm down here on the grid with the 250cc. So I'm on the grid with the 250cc riders, and Rafi Topan, once again you pull off a surprising qualifying, picking up your second pole position. So how are you looking forward to racing race 1 here today?
Yes, for race 1 I just looking podium. I hope can get podium, and then please pray for me for all. And then thanks to all my sponsors, always support me until now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Topan. Good luck for race 1. Starting alongside Rafi Topan is our current championship leader, Andy Muhammad Fadli. Andy, so interesting weather conditions we're having here this weekend. I can see that you're trying to stay cool as well. How are you looking forward to race 1?
Yeah, in China weather is very hot, but from yesterday I try until I try myself until the limit. So today I hope I can back on the podium again, like in Suzuka, Japan. So all Indonesia people, please wish me luck for this round.
Okay, thank you so much, Fadli. Good luck. And we have a full Indonesian front row today in the 250cc class with Irfan Adrian Shah completing the front row. Irfan, weather conditions here not that positive. The underbone riders were saying how slippery the track conditions were. Is that a concern to you, or you're more focused just on the race itself?
Just focus and following the top group. Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you. Short and sweet from Irfan Adrian Shah. So that's it from me on the grid. We'll send it back to Des, Barry, and Brock Parks in the studio.
Thanks very much, Wheeling. Yeah, the air conditioning here is wonderful. We are having a lovely time. Nice little soft drink for us. We are having a fabulous time here. Barry Russell alongside me. Conditions up here, great. But down on the track, it seems to be dominating the conversation.
It's absolutely searing, isn't it? And Rafi Topan, part of this resurgence in form is due to a change of team. He's just changed to a Honda with the Bike Corner SYS KYT racing team, and that's given him a real lease of life. As Wheeling said, he was on pole position in Suzuka as well as here, and he was running well in Suzuka, but didn't quite do the full race distance.
Owen Sanjaya in 4th place. I need to return to the weather, Brock Parks, and we made light of it there, but everybody is talking about the weather. When you're down on the grid, are you aware of it?
Yeah, for sure. You feel it probably more because you've got no wind. And yesterday, the problem was the wind was so hot. It was it was like just a hot sauna, you know, and it was just blowing in the face. And yeah, when you're on the grid, it feels even hotter, I reckon, than actually when you get going, and then until you stop, basically. You know, I think for us we have 13 laps. It's not too bad, but this track's really physical and braking, and yeah, it's going to be quite hot. It was for me hotter than Suzuka 8 hours yesterday.
But in terms of focus and what you're thinking, does it distract you from the task in hand? I think that's the thing I'm really chasing.
Well, you know, that's what it's all about, really. You know, people make mistakes when physically that's when they're prone to make more mistakes. So, you just try and take it as you can and try and keep your head, and you just stay out of the hot as much as possible.
Brock Parks will be racing in the 1000 cc's later on. We'll be criticising him from the air conditioning over here. But Barry Russell alongside me. Indonesian riders, they've got 5 of the first 6 positions. Only Muklada Sarapic is in there. Something very, very good is happening with Indonesian bike racing.
Yeah, there certainly is. You can see it in the underbones as well. They've got a really good line. There's a lot of support from Yamaha, a lot of support from Honda. On the ground, you know, at the grassroots level, and these amazing riders just keep coming through. I mean, just remember Super Mario from last year. Now, and they go on through to Europe racing in the CEV Junior Championship and so on.
Indeed. And the Thai races as well. We've seen Tachikon there and Pia Watt as well. You're very close to the Thai racing scene. It's a very competitive environment in Thailand. And again, we're seeing competitive riders coming through from that region as well.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Big support from manufacturers, really well structured as well, taking the kids on mini bikes through, right the way up through to this championship, and then backing them when they go further into the Honda Asia team and so on.
It's Indonesia, Thailand, right the way through the first 3 rows. You can see here Anggi Setiawan on the Yamaha racing team. He was lapping 154.5, 152.626 is Rafid Topan. Rafid, that is mighty quick. He's 0.2 of a second quicker than anybody else out on the track. I don't think we're going to have a chance to see Aoki Aoshi. Maybe we are. It's the first Japanese, and it's the first of the Kawasaki's as well. Sorry, no, Andy Mohammed's on a Kawasaki, obviously. But the Astra Honda racing and the Hondas generally seem to be very, very strong in this category.
Yeah, that bike, the CBR 250 RO, was pretty much built to win this championship, and it's a beautiful little machine. It's, you know, Rafid Topan is obviously taken to it very well, and Astra Honda, and all 3 Astra Honda riders, all 3 AP Honda riders, the Thai team, they all do really, really well. Kawasaki also got a good turn of speed. And the other thing to say about this class, Des, is they have they're running a control ECU with the A-Racer system, which says that if any rider in the top 5 gets 25 points or more ahead of another one, they get a 500 RPM cut in their maximum rev limit. So the people carrying those rev limits now are Andy Mohamed Fadli, Muqtada Sarapech, and Aoki Aoshi.
Yeah.
And Owen as well, right?
Yes, Owen as well. Yeah, indeed, that's to keep it competitive. Brock Parks, you're riding the 1000cc, you're used to the big bikes. Do you ever go down to the 250s just to remind yourself what it was like when you were learning?
To be honest, I'm a little bit big now to get on the little ones, but I know a lot of guys that do get back on the 250, 300s and do for training wise. I do more like with a supermoto bike and stuff like that, so with the bigger bikes I think with the throttle control and stuff like that. But what an amazing stepping ground, you know, from the Asian Championship. They've got every angle, you know, from the underbone to this to the 600 and then down to the 1000. So it's really looking a bright future for, you know, there's Thailand riders and Indonesian riders and stuff like that.
We're running through the first rows of the grid. It was 5 of the first 6 from Indonesia. Only Muklada Sarapech in P5. Down onto row 5, where you have the first of the Malaysians, Muzakkir Mohammed, alongside Setu Rajiv from India, who's been pretty competitive on the Idemitsu Honda racing. Down to row 7, you've got Setil, the second of the Indian riders. Harith Hazik and Sawapol from Thailand completing row 7. On row 8, Lu Junmei, she's worked really hard, the Chinese Taipei girl, to get herself onto row 8. Zhao Sheng Junji and Mio Nakahara, the diminutive Japanese, completing row 8. Further down onto row 9, the Johnson boys on the Kawasaki Ninjas. They are they're gaining experience every time they're getting out on the track. Their lap times are pretty low, but every time they race, Barry Russell, the Johnson boys are just improving, just learning, just getting a little bit better in their craft.
Yeah, there's a very structured thing going on in that BRP racing team. It's run by Ben Reed, who was a former 250 GP racer himself, and he's worked as crew chief for Gardner and Josh Hook, I believe, too. Brock might know more about his background than that. But But he's giving these guys the benefit of his experience. He was a very good rider, and he's also a very good engineer. So he's like the best of both, the best of all worlds, really.
Terrific backing there for the Johnson boys. But let's focus on the top of the grid and the numbers to look out for. Rafid Topan Susito from Indonesia on the from the KYT racing team. He is on P1, which will be on the right of the screen when we look at when they form up once again. Andy Mohammed Fadli, a win and a podium last time out. He's got 5 podiums in the 8 races so far. Leads the championship standings by 24 points on the Kawasaki. He's had a terrific season. He goes under the radar a little bit, but that's a rock solid season.
Yeah, it is very much so. He first came to prominence at in Australia last year. That was his first ever podium, and it was at that point that he started to put together really good races. He went from just being a fast, slightly erratic rider to a rider who can put a race and good results together.
Riders just forming up ahead of the first of 10 laps in this AP 250cc. Championship leader is Andy Mohammed Fadli, who is in P2, lapping 152.821. Clara Sarapech is in P5. Look out for her to see if she can get off to a fast start to put some pressure on the Indonesians. Once the flags disappear, the lights will go on and we will be underway in the first of 2 races this weekend in the AP 250cc. We're at the Zhuhai International Circuit. Everyone is ready. Looks like we're off for a good clean start. The lights go off and a bumpy start from Rafid Topan. As they come towards us, Rafid Topan it is who's continued his good work on pole, and he will lead into the first corner. A lot of jockeying for places behind him. But it is Rafid Topan who leads. Irfan Ardianshah getting a good start as well. But it's everybody clean through turn 1, Barry Russell.
Yeah, I think I saw it was Pio White. No, sorry, it was Tachakorn. Also made a very good start. And it's going to be important now. It's going to be important now for the Thai riders not to be muscled out of things by the Indonesians. There will be some tactics on track, and it'll be an interesting aspect of this race just to watch that.
Astra Honda Racing represented by Irfan Ardianshah, bike 16, and Arwin Sanjay, bike 198. Tachakorn and Piawat will continue. Brock Parks will be joining us in the commentary midway through this. Brock will be appearing in the 1000cc at the moment. He's taken a lot of water on because it's so hot down there. Keeps disappearing to the gents. Fully understandable because it is searingly hot out there and setting a searing pace just at the moment. Is that Andy Mohammed Fadli who's into the lead? I think it is, you know, and he's taken over from Rafid Topan.
Yeah, interesting from Fadli, Des. He had a pretty quiet day by his standards in free practice yesterday. He trundled around. He ended up 8th, I think, on combined times. But he got a wriggle on this morning in qualifying and ran very close to Rafid. Gave him a good push.
Andy Mohammed Fadli still leads as they come around that fast final corner, and it'll be Fadli who has a healthy lead as they come over the start-finish line. It's 0.2 of a second ahead of Rafid. Angie Setiawan and Irfan Ardianshah up there. McLaren has dropped down to 7th. Lucky Hedriansa in 8th place, and the Thai riders Piawat into 9th. Further down, Setu Rajiv in 13th. Count Vietnam has got himself up to the top 14. Bad start for Aiki Ayoshi, the young Japanese. He is P15.
Yeah, and you have to give credit there to Angie Setiawan, who started from 9th on the grid. He's put himself into 3rd by the end of that first lap.
Rafid Topan has got himself ahead of Andy Mohammed Fadli, who was the race leader. Andy Mohammed Fadli drops down into P3 as they come down. There's a number of longish straights here. Obviously, the main straight is the longest, but it's a very fast track, 4.4 kilometers. And even the corners, when they go, yeah, there's a couple of sharp right-handers, but there's a couple of little just lean over gently, and you take them very, very quickly. And that, I suspect, might suit the Kawasaki.
Yeah, I think it will. Fadli's got a lot of confidence about him these days. He has got that championship lead. He doesn't want it to go much beyond 24 points, by the way, because he'll get another 500 rate, cutting his rev limit. But Angie Setiawan on that Yamaha is staying with the pace very well, which has proved difficult for the Yamahas, not just for this season, but last season too, they struggled a bit.
Rafi Topan is leading the way. He has dragged along with him Irfan Ardiansha for the Astra Honda Racing team. We did suggest beforehand, Brock Parks, that team orders might come into play if it gets a little bit tight. How seriously should we take the team orders in the commentary box? Do they exist?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I've never had, well, yeah, I had them a lot of years ago. But during a race situation, the boxer will normally let you know if there is something that you can do to help your teammate to win a championship or something. But this early in the year, I'm not sure.
Irfan Ardiansha, that's our conversation point's gone for the rest of the season, Barry. That's a problem for us because we put a lot on it. But Irfan Ardiansha,
if you believe Brock.
Andy Mohammed Fadli dragged into P2 just at the moment. Rafi Topan as they come into the Alpine Stars corner. Beautifully caught, and Irfan Ardiansha in the pink helmet, easy to pick out, and Rafi Topan on bike 911 looks to be riding very comfortably within himself, Rafi Topan.
Yeah, of course, it wasn't only a change of team, but a change of number for Rafi. He was very distinctive on that number 250 Yamaha just a few races ago, but he changed to 911. So yeah, so there's plenty of urgency about the way he's riding.
A little mistake there from Irfan Ardiansha. It just enabled Andy Mohammed Fadli to get in. Let's talk about mistakes, Brock Parks. If you do make a mistake anywhere on a circuit, does it impact you mentally?
It depends, you know. In this class, normally they make quite a few, you know. So little ones like that, he just ran a little bit wide onto the ripple strip, had a slide, and yeah, you see now he's just come back wide. So no, it's normally not a big problem.
Irfan Ardiansha is the man who leads the way. He's taking Andy Mohammed Fadli with him. Right down on the brakes, Andy Mohammed Fadli. That means he goes into the corner leading first. Rafi Topan is now down into P4. Behind them, I'm just seeing if Maklada Sarakwech is able to make any impact. Bike number 44. She's in the middle of that next little group, P7 or P8 behind Angie Setiawan. That foot injury seems as though it might just be hindering Maklada Sarakwech, Paris.
Yeah, I think it could. Especially as the race wears on, she's using that foot to change gear. She's using it in the right-hand corners, and there's 9 of them on this circuit. So yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable for her. I saw her coming out of the medical centre this morning. She was just cleared to race. You see her just challenging Angie Setiawan, and I said, "How are you?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm fine. And then I watched her walk away, and I thought, that looks painful.
She's had a number of injuries as Maklada over the years. Wrist injury, I remember, seemed to hinder her progress last year. Nonetheless, she remains mighty competitive. The left foot was down as she takes a couple of places. Bike 44, middle of your screen there in the red livery. And she's certainly trying to mentally make sure that foot injury isn't hurting her. At the front, though, Andy Mohammed Fadli, who's a man in form. But he seems to lose it on the straight line speed just a little bit. He has managed, though, to continue. Talk about injuries, Brock Parks. It's great to have you here. We can get the truth. Do injuries impact you? Are you aware of them when you're on the bike, or is the focus, hey, I've just got to get from A to B as quick as possible?
Yeah, well, depending on the injury, but definitely they're going to hinder you on the bike. There's, you know, depends on which circuits, of course, and which left-handers and right-handers, like they were saying. But once the adrenaline cuts in, I think that a lot of it goes out the door. It's just then it comes down to strength. You know, the injuries are holding you back on strength. But you know, road racing, it's not as sort of demanding, I guess, on the bike as a motocross or something like that. So I think that we can get away with sometimes with a bit more.
As you say, I think, Brock, it's a question if your strength is compromised from the injury, then there's not a lot you can do about it. But that's the question over Maklada. She'll be giving it her all anyway. And I just wonder whether Fadli's progress here, or you know, his position or his inability to get away has got something to do with that 500 RPM rev cut. I would say that I think that Kawasaki team have managed his mission mapping pretty well. It doesn't seem to be much of a disadvantage.
At the moment, he is holding on to P3 as they go out into the country once again. It's very congested out there. Sometimes you can see a procession, but 7 riders, 9 riders within a second, and Tachikon is just 1.012. So we talk about the underbone being mighty competitive. If these guys get into contact, Barry, this could be very, very difficult for the riders.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, Tachikon is recovering from a back injury. I was hoping he was all right, but he's just slightly dropping off that group, maybe a few tenths off that group.
Astra Honda's Lucky Hendriansa is the man who is in the lead. He's suddenly appeared in the last lap and a half or so and has begun to just take the pace away. It is a line, it's almost like the cycling peloton where you're just trying to get a little bit of a leapfrog through, and using that coming through is Arvind Sanjaya. And again, Arvind Sanjaya, 3 podiums so far this season, plus 2 4th places. Seriously competitive is the Astra Honda Racing Arvind Sanjaya.
Yeah, he's the senior of those 3 riders. And I noticed Lucky Hendriansia around this weekend. He looks really happy and really up for it. I saw him laughing on the grid. The other guys were looking a bit more serious. I mean, they're all, you see them around the paddock, and they're all up for a laugh, but Lucky seems to be really enjoying himself, and that's often a good sign for a rider who just goes up the inside there of Andy Fadley. Fadley, of course, is probably going to be happy with the podium, because he doesn't want another 500 RPM rev cut, so tactics again, maybe.
Tactics can come into play. A lot of changes of leadership as they go through the start-finish line. It's Arvind Sanjaya who leads from Lucky. Andy Mohammed Irfan is there. McLarda has got herself up into P5, Brock Parks.
Yeah, you know, she's coming through at the moment and looks very strong. So the injuries don't seem to be a problem at the moment. You know, with the little 250s, maybe we can get away with a little bit more as well. But well, it's one of the most exciting races, I think, this year. Normally they sort of break out into a group of, you know, 3 to maybe 5, but now they're all there. There's a big group.
Indeed, we've had multiple changes of lead at the front. It's almost like they're sharing the lead as they just build up to the final couple of laps and looking at the track. Where's good to overtake? Where's good to undertake? Who's got the weaknesses?
Yeah, it looks like at the moment that yeah, they just can't seem to break away, even though they're not looking back, head down, and trying their best. But yeah, it seems like here on the brakes they can catch up or whatever, and they can make that ground up. But now it's starting to get exciting.
Yeah, Muqtada really aggressive now these last few turns. She's set her heart on a podium, so let's see what she can do.
A little bit of contact on her back wheel there, that's forced her just a little bit wide. A little bit of bullying going on there as McLarda took P2. Somebody's gone mighty wide. The road's there for a reason, young fella, but it's bike 198, Arvind Sanjaya, who leads the way. This is the country part, a couple of sharp right-handers. Just got to make sure you get your line right. I'm just having a look at McLarda. She got up into P2, she's now in P3. Rapid Topan is still there or thereabouts. Andy Mohammed Fadley right on the tail of McLarda Sarapech, but it's Arvind Sanjaya who leads. We are beyond halfway as Arvind Sanjaya leads, but definitely a race. The top 4, Barry Russell, looking like they're meaning business coming into the final 4 laps.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, Fadley on the Kawasaki, just breaking up those red and white Hondas.
And Ray Ratakore has joined in that little group as well. Ratakore, who is another we see going very, very quickly on occasions. He got himself a podium in Suzuka, 3rd place in race number 1. And so Ray Ratakore, bike 222, just appearing on the right-hand side of your screen there. Yep. So plenty of new people coming into the picture.
Ray Ratakore, really good quality rider, along with Nazrul Izzat as well. They're both riding for the 1XOX TKKR SAG team. They're both very good riders, and that team is really punching above its weight because it's got little or no factory support.
McLarda Sarapech into the lead for the first time. She was there temporarily and she's been able to hold on. She held her line brilliantly. She's got some guts, this woman.
Yeah, the lap before, 2 under brakes into that left-hander there, that was a mighty move, and yeah, she's come through to I think she's in the front now, and it's so good to see. And now she's putting the pace down and they're trying to hang in.
Brock Parks alongside us in the commentary box. I'm watching enjoying watching his reactions to the underbones we saw here, and to the performance of Maglada, because she's left the brakes late there as well, leans into the corner, and without saying she's stretching a lead, she's certainly having a go to lead from the front here.
Yeah, she's pushing really hard in that right-hander there. You know, they're going to come across soon for 3 laps to go, so it'll be interesting to see if she can try and make a break, but at this stage I see it difficult that she could try and make any kind of break, to be honest.
But for the first time, the front 6 are kind of strung out a little bit, Barry Russell.
Yeah, they are. Muqtada's the only non-Indonesian in that group. Her teammates Piawat and Tachakorn are a little way back there, so they're not going to be able to help her out. And so the boys will tend to gang up on her. They are wary of her. She's a tough rider. She has swapped paint with most of those at some stage.
At the moment, she is back now in P4 as Rapid Topan has made a move forward. Andy Mohammed Fadli, he's been pushed a little bit down the pecking order. He's now in P6, Andy Mohammed Fadli, on the Kawasaki. The other Kawasaki also just in shot, Ayuki Ayoshi. He's in the green livery at the back there, but leading the way, it remains Arwin Sanjaya, Astra Honda Racing. We have got 2.5 laps to go, and it's building up to a nice little crescendo here. Nobody able to pull away. We talked about Maglada leading the way, but as we said, very quickly within half a lap, she's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th position now, Barry Russell.
Yep, and Rapid Topan, who just barged his way between the 2 Astra Hondas, has just barged his way into the lead.
Coming to the final stages of lap number 7 of a 10-lap race, Rapid Topan, who was on pole position, is leading the way. That distinctive yellow helmet. Arwin Sanjaya late onto the brakes, but it's Rapid who leads. Maglada goes wide, and Andy Mohammed Fadli has come back in. So much changing of positions here at Rock Parks.
Yeah, it's amazing racing. That there's a lot, like I said before, there's a few more up the front. They don't seem to be able to break away, and they're starting now to try and race for corner, and you know, with 2 laps to go, they need to be, you know, in the sort of top 3 to top 4. They want to try and get their last lap.
The top 4 are Rapid Topan, Arwin Sanjaya, Andy Mohammed Fadli, Lucky Hendriansa, Maglada, half a second between P1 and P5. Just behind them, Ray Ratakore, Irfan Ardianta, Piawat and Tachakorn. As you were saying, Barry Russell, the tight teammates of Maglada, just a little bit off the pace.
A little bit too far back to help her out, and so somebody used the dirt then, as Brock said. Doesn't mean you back off, you just keep it pinned. When in doubt, gas it out.
Arwin Sanjaya takes the tight inside track. And Maglada, bike 44, keeping an eye on her. But it's Arwin Sanjaya who's looked comfortable, but Rapid Topan, maybe he was just biding his time in the in the mid stages of that race, Brock.
It looked like then the fourth and fifth come together, so the top 3 now have got a small gap, and they've made a small little getaway. But yeah, I think these 2 on the front definitely had something in the race, and they're trying to stretch it out.
Andy Mohammed Fadli on the Kawasaki, just trying to weave his way back, takes a tight corner. Andy Mohammed Fadli, foot down. 5th place for the Kawasaki rider, but there is a bit of a gap, and with only 1.5 laps remaining, Barry Russell, this is not the time that you want to lose touch.
No, he just looked behind him, funnily enough, and as he did so, the riders in front of him just got away a little bit. So I think he doesn't want to think too much about the championship and rev limit cuts and so on. I think he just needs to get his head down now and catch up to those front 4. Rapid Topan's really got a good turn of speed, hasn't he?
He's had 3 DNFs and 2 DNFs that did not start this season, Rapid Topan. So to see him leading as they come into the final lap, this is arguably the performance of the season for Rapid Topan Susito of the Bike Corner KYT Racing Team. But he's overtaken by Arwin Sanjaya just as I was picking him up. He then goes on the inside and nearly coming together there at Rock Parks.
Yeah, that was a big move. He wanted to get back on the front there. He got passed down the front straight, but yeah, that was really late on the brakes, and yeah, he still got the guy out.
A couple of people beginning to look behind on their shoulders a little bit nervously. Never a good sign, Barry.
No, it's not. Andy Fadli, he's trying to get up with that group. I think he probably can. just get a little bit of a toe behind Irfan.
That's what he's looking for. Looks like McLeod has been dropped just a little bit. Tachikon in that group behind them as well. In fact, Piawat is leading the three ties, but it's all Indonesia at the front. Rafid Topan in second place. Arwin Sanjaya is leading at the moment. Andy Mohammed Fadli in the green on the Kawasaki is doing everything to keep in touch.
Yep, here he comes. He hopes. Now, yeah, it's very much a Honda party at the front now. Those four are going to be difficult to catch.
Rafid Topan looking comfortable, but nothing is comfortable until you cross that finish line in first place, Brock.
Yeah, at the end of this straight now, I think it's going to be a bit of a decider, and then see what happens after here. But I think this corner here can be the corner that might decide the race.
Rafid slides in. Arwin Sanjaya has a look down the inside, can't quite get there. Nicely delivered by Rafid Topan, but he is under pressure from Lucky and Irfan Ardiansha. Still, Rafid Topan leads. Arwin Sanjaya has a look on the outside, has a look on the inside. It's a fast right-hand corner down into the final straight. It is Rafid Topan Susito. He is holding on, and Rafid Topan Susito just holds on for a victory here at Zhuhai. Fabulous racing by Russell.
Oh, that was half a wheel. He won by half a wheel, and out of the three Astra Honda riders behind him, it's Lucky Hendrianzia who wasn't lucky enough to get on the podium this time.
Yeah, he was definitely committed all the last lap, and he guarded the second last corner on the inside and got a good drive out, and from there he brought it home.
So he was on pole and he was able to get back in the lead maybe with 1.5 laps to go. Then he had the power and the persistence as well as the aggression when he temporarily lost the lead to hold on. Rafid Topan Susito from Indonesia. Fabulous performance from him, and Barry Russell, he has been threatening this for several seasons.
Yeah, he has, and now he's made it. The change of team, the change of manufacturer to Honda has helped him. That's a privately sponsored team. You can see how happy they are. But this bike corner team, it's a mixture of individuals that have just put the money together, racing enthusiasts. It's a nice story, this one.
Arwin Sanjaya picking up 20 points once again. Arwin Sanjaya, that's his 4th podium of the season. A win in Suzuka, to a 2nd place in Boram to add to this one here in Zhuhai, and he had a 3rd place in Sepang. So good performance from Arwin Sanjaya. He will slightly close the gap on Andy Mohammed Fadli, but Andy Mohammed Fadli will remain top of the standings.
Yes, he will. And another podium for Irfan, who is another rider who's really showing some consistency now.
Final results. Rafid Topan Susito wins it. Arwin Sanjaya 2nd, Irfan Ardianta and Lucky Hendrianta Astra Honda Racing in 3rd and 4th. Andy Mohammed on the Kawasaki 5th. McLeod a brave 6th for 1.6 seconds down. Piawat and Ray Ratikowe, who temporarily got into the front 3, he finished 8th, 2 seconds adrift. Further down, Tachikon and Nazrul. Anji Setiawan, who was in the lead at one stage midway through the race, is Amikmal, Aiki Ayoshi and Kao Vietnam in the points, as is Setu Raji from India on the Idemitsu Honda Racing Team, 11.5 seconds behind. Fairuzi in 16th place. As we run down the rest, Brock Parks, quick thoughts on what you've seen in the first 2 races, particularly in the AP 250, competitive racing.
Yeah, it makes it look pretty exciting for when I get out on track at the moment. Both races, great racing. Couldn't pick a winner until the last corner. So, yeah, looking forward to now I better go and get my race cap on and hopefully come out in the end and do what they've just done, the front runs, and win.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on board with us. Hope you've enjoyed the experience. We'll love watching you in the 1000cc. Barry Russell, quick thoughts as the riders come to the park for me.
Yeah, fantastic result for the privateer team with Rafid Topan Sucipto. You can see how happy he is. We wish Brock the very best for his race. Championship leader in the ASB 1000. And the riders there all in the Parc Fermé then for the first 3. That was a great race all the way through, and as Brock said, so difficult to pick a winner.
It was terrific, wasn't it? We had multiple changes of lead, and in the end the man who was quickest in pole wins it. So let's forget about the other 10 laps, shall we?
Yeah, just an interesting observation perhaps is that Andy Fadli did allow himself to drop off that front group, and also his teammate Aiki Yoshi, who had a sensational start to his first ever season in ARRC AP250s. He was 13th.
Let's go down to the Park Fermi. I think Hui Ling is able to talk to our top three. I hope her Bahasa Indonesia is good.
Thank you, Des. Congratulations, Irfan. Another podium finisher, but I'm sure you wanted more today in race 1.
Actually, I made a good start, but after 2 laps, maybe the bike not yet hot, but I just follow the group, and finally, last 2 laps, I try to go in front again, and finally to be on the podium, happy. But tomorrow I will try to be winner. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Irfan. Coming in second place today is Irfan's teammate, Awin Sanjaya. Awin, second place here. Obviously, it looked like you tried to make a move on Topan on the final lap. Share us what happened there.
Thanks for team, my family and sponsor. My track very hot, and congratulations for Topan. And next race, race 2 for tomorrow. I'm ready fight. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Awin. And today's race 1 winner, Rafid Topan Sucipto. Topan now. Congratulations, Rafid Topan, for winning race 1 today. Obviously, you started from pole position. You fell back a little throughout the race, but in the end, you managed to find a way to the front.
Yes. In the half lap, I have in the middle in group position, but I try push step by step, learning the technique of another rider, and then I follow. And my decision in last lap, thank you. I can get number 1. Thanks for all my sponsor and for people in country, pray for me. Thank you so much, and thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Topan. Congratulations. We'll see all 3 riders on the podium shortly.
It's us who should be thanking you, Rafid Topan. Superb ride it was from him. We'll have a look at the best of the highlights in just a moment, but he started on pole, lapping at 152.626. And despite an immense amount of pressure on him, multiple lead changes throughout the race, he went on to take his first victory of the season. I think we can have a look at the best of the action just now. There's the bike, 911. And he started on pole, Rafid Topan Sucipto, and he looked confident on pole. Sometimes a pole sitter can look a little bit nervous. Not Rafid today, Barry Russell.
No, he did. Good observation, Des. He did look happy on pole. Not all riders do. They feel the pressure of pole position, but he was comfortable there, and he made a really good job of this race. He said he was looking for a podium. I think because he crashed out of contention in Suzuka. Perhaps he was thinking, well, maybe just calm it down again. This is only his second outing on the Honda for this team. But he rode a really good race all the way through. He never lost touch with the leaders. And there you see early leader there, the green Kawasaki, the distinctive green Kawasaki of Andy Mohammed Fadli, and the distinctive pink helmet, which seems a bit outsized actually, of Irfan Ardiancia just behind him.
They do help us, the AP250 riders, some distinctive pillaries, but in front, Rafid Topan, you made the point that he never lost touch with the leaders. You can always see him either leading as he is here, or even if he does drop back, it's never lower than 4th or 5th, which is, I think, as bad as it got, no more than a second and a half off the pace.
Yeah, that's right, and we were seeing then, there's a little breakaway there, but for most of the race, the top 8 or 9 were within a second of each other. It's only in the last lap that the front 4 got away, the 3 Astra Hondas and Rafid, of course. It's Fadli there, still mixing it at the front.
We hold a bit of a candle for number 44, Muklada Sarapwech, as Brock Park said in commentary. He likes it when the girl roughs up the boys. And she made a move as well, and at one stage she got herself into the lead. But as you said, she was suffering from an injury. And no matter how focused you are, if you're carrying an injury, it must have a big impact on you.
Yeah, I think so. And if you ever see her walking around in the paddock at the moment, you'll see just how much pain she's in. She doesn't like to show injuries. She's one of these riders that will cover it up because she thinks it might give a psychological boost to her rivals.
There she is on bike 44 at that stage in 4th place, but Arvind Sanjaya made a move. You can just see that's as far back as the race leader Rapid Topan was. Bike 911, P6 he was as they went through lap 7. Even there, midway through lap 8, he's still a little bit far behind as Muklada took her moment in the spotlight. But in many ways, Muklada kind of slowed things down. They grouped up once together, and that meant Rapid was able to retake the lead and power his way to victory. Eventually, I wouldn't say comfortably, but eventually well clear of Arvind Sanjaya.
You're right, Des. That did set the tone for the rest of the race. They did squeeze up again, and then they got away, and Muklada wasn't able quite to stay at the front.
Bike 198, Arvind Sanjaya didn't make life easy for Rapid. It then became a two-man battle between Rapid. They nearly came together, but this is the corner where he's late onto the brakes, holds on despite the best efforts of Arvind Sanjaya. Arvind Sanjaya we didn't really mention, but Arvind himself has picked up 4 podiums this season. Now you add this 2nd place here. He's another who has been very competitive and is in 2nd place in the standing, just 15 points off the championship leader Andy Mohammed.
There's something stealthy about Arvind Sanjaya. He always seems to be there, and yet somehow we're surprised when we see him come pop through at the front.
There he is chasing, but Rapid Topan's just got enough speed to cross the finish line in 1st place. It was less than 0.3 of a second between P1 and P2, but there is our race winner, Rapid Topan Susito.
And there's his happy boss.
Okay, let's go down to the podium ceremony where the happy boss will be waiting to sing the Indonesian national anthem. Hui Ling is the master of ceremonies.
We'll begin the podium ceremony for the Asia Production 250cc Race 1. Coming in 3rd place today, Irfan Adrian Shah from Astra Honda Racing Team. In 2nd place, Arvind Sanjaya from Astra Honda Racing Team. And today's race winner, Rafi Topan Sucipto from Bike Corner SYS KYT Racing Team. And I'd like to invite a representative from Bike Corner SYS KYT Racing Team to join the riders on the podium. We will now stand for the national anthem of Indonesia. We'd now like to invite Mr. Jenkins Zhang, the chairman of Zhuhai International Circuit, to present the riders with their trophies. Coming in third place from Indonesia, Irfan Adriansyah. In second place, also from Indonesia, Awin Sanjaya. And today's race 1 winner for the AP 250 from Indonesia, Rafid Topan Sucipto. And today's best team award goes to Bike Corner SYS KYT Racing Team.
Thanks very much to Jenkin Jiang, the chairman of Zhuhai International Circuit, for handing out the prizes, to Awin Sanjaya, Irfan Adriansyah and Rafid Topan Sucipto with his first victory of the season. And Indonesia, 1-2-3. Barry Russell, a 1-2-3 for any country is quite something to be proud of. But Rafid, he's beaten some good compatriots there.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's done it on a privateer machine, as we can see the results. The championship standings coming up now.
Awin Sanjaya moves into second place. The differential is just 14 points behind Andy Mohammed Fadli. Irfan is third. Muklada Saropech picked up points today for her fifth place. She is on 107 points. Ray Ratakore in 8th place on 74 points. Rafid Topan is in the next group, 53 points for him for this season, but there's a victory there and that will really help his confidence ahead of the rest of the season. Khao Vietnam on 29, Setu Rajiv on 26 points on the Idemitsu Honda. He is the top of the Indian riders. Anji Setiawan completes the top 16. Okay, so that is the AP 250cc. We've got 2 big races still to come at this picturesque track in Zhuhai in south of China. After the break, we move up a grade. We're on to the Supersport 600cc. Join us in 2 minutes' time. This is the Asia Road Racing Championships.